Hello YouTube, Jedi Fuka here. In today's video, I wanted to talk about the current event we have going on my server, and that is for the Imperial Shadow Recast. So this is how you unlock Utior, the legendary champion. And before we even get into it any further, I'm just going to say I feel like this event is a fail on the developer's part. I don't think this was very well designed. Basically, I'm going to go through it real quick, tell you how you get it, and tell you why I don't really care for this event and why I'm not really going to participate. I think you need to be very pay-to-play to win this. So the way it goes is we have 3 different events to do. We have the Shadow Dungeons here, which it'll give us an event to knock out, which is fairly easy, and you're going to get some points in there. Then you're going to have Summoning, which is where the real problem is, and this Continental Challenge. So for going into it, we can get 90 points from the first event, the Shadow Dungeons. I think that 90 points will be pretty easy to get. And then you get another 90 points if you can max out the Continental Challenge. So the reason why I think this event is a fail is because between those 2 events, you get 180 points, which means even if you are somehow able to max this out, which is unlikely, you will still have to pull another 20 heliolite dice in order to get this. So that means a minimum of pulling 20 dice. That's a lot, especially if you're free to play and you're trying to save for the good events like the 80 for the extra legendary. I think that this is just ridiculous, and it's not very free to play friendly at all, requiring that there be any pulls. Now I get that it can't be a super simple event and that people need to be able to work hard to get it, but whenever you make it to where you have to have pulls, and that's when you're already maxing out the other events, for most people, you're probably going to get closer to like 70 on here, and you're going to end up needing to pull like 40 dice or something, and that's just too much. So the reason being, if you come into the Continental Challenge, this is what it takes to get your rewards in here. So if you were maxing it out and getting the 5 amethyst per battle, that means you're doing 22 million damage, and for a free-to-play player, that is honestly going to be completely unrealistic. I'm coming in from Season 0. I haven't tried the bosses just yet. I'm about to start trying them, and when I do, I'll post a video on what I think about them. But so far, I'm thinking maybe even for me, having come from Season 0, I'm probably only going to be hitting the 11 million because this is early on to be trying to fight these bosses and hitting 22 million. I remember in Season 0, if this is the same, they brought this in actually during the last month, and even then I was barely hitting like 10, 11 mil on most of these bosses, and that was with my best teams, and that was at the end of Season 0. So now we're at the beginning of this season. People just barely started farming legendary gear on my server because now we have the double drop rate, so we don't even have teams built for this yet. I'm waiting a little bit towards the end of the week to do mine because I'm trying to build up some gear right now. So for me, I feel like this event's going to be unrealistic. I just want to show you players who are on the other servers that's coming up. Just keep that in mind when you get to it. Don't get too excited for this because it looks like it's going to be hard. If I have to compare this to something, I'm going to have to say I have to compare it to Raid. Raid does the same type of things for their summons. They require you, for their events, they require you to do tons of summons in order to get to it. I think this was a mistake on the developers' parts, copying the same type of system like that, and I don't think this is going to be very popular. So we'll see. Maybe if enough people don't participate, they'll change it in the future. We'll see how it goes. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to share my thoughts on that. That's all I have for you. Y'all have a good one.